Like our mind is built to always support anything that we say.
Right. Much. To like basically rationalize everything that we
think.
Like
that's like what we do as human beings. You know, like the mind's always active. Talking about transactional relationships.
Yeah, well, that's what the title of the video will be.
But like, I feel like we always talking about more things.
Yeah, we'll dive into it. We'll dive into it, but we'll see.
I think wherever it goes, it flows.
Wherever it goes, it flows. The energy knows. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you. All right, we good? Everyone good? All right, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome to episode 58 of the podcast that is still yet to be named. We're here with the legend Matt Lorian and Eric Abrons. It's gonna be a value-filled fucking podcast. We're here in the Paramount right now. As you can see, it's been raining in Miami for about
a couple days now.
Yeah, it's getting really old. It's getting really. I'm pale as shit right now.
Yeah, I want to say that. Me too.
It's about to tell me I'm pale as fuck. Okay, is your audio on your camera pretty good?
Yeah, that's
decent enough.
All right, yeah.
All right, so today's video, as you can tell by the title, we're gonna be kind of talking about transactional relationships. We don't know how much we're going to stick to that topic, but me and Eric were just kind of brainstorming yesterday, and we thought it'd be a good topic to dive on. And we know Matt's very he experiences this a little bit with his positioning in life that he's worked for. So like being a millionaire at 18 years old, you have all these things, you have the nice cars. How do you deal with that, honestly? How do you know when someone's using you or like they're genuine and they actually want to like build a friendship with you? How can you tell the difference?
Dude, that's what I'm figuring out right now.
Yeah.
You know, like there's so many people, especially in Miami. You never know when they're gonna come, because you can't tell. You be talking to people, and some of them are so freaking good at disguising stuff, and they'll put on an act to try to get something. Either it's money or it's cloud connection, something, and they'll pretend like they're your friend. But then you'll see who the real ones are when people actually check them. They reach out, like they FaceTime me, yo bro, how you doing? Not, yo bro, can I
throw a party at your house?
Can I use your house? Can I use your car for a video? Or just something like, no, what they call it? Okay, that was different. But you get the point.
I get the point, especially in Miami, it's very difficult, because and a lot of the times people in Miami, they act they put up this image that they're living a life that they're actually not. You know what I mean? It can be so deceiving, and it's at this point it's hard not to look for that in everyone. You're like, all right, what are you looking to gain from me, bro? And it's kind of fucks with your brain a little bit, because you just want to be able to openly let people in, but once it happens once and then it happens twice, and you're just like, here we fucking go. Have you ever dealt with this?
I mean, I've kind of dealt with it before, but I've also known people who have dealt with it, and it's like, a lot of people who do it, they hide their intentions, and it's hard to actually know sometimes, because we pretty much trust things at face value, which is it can be a good thing, but it can also lead to obviously people taking advantage of you. And I don't know, I think at least for me, I've kind of learned to read it, because I don't know, I feel like when you trust in yourself and develop that awareness, you can kind of read it even if someone isn't presenting it. Because obviously we know there's a lot of deception in the world, and that's not put on the surface level. So I feel like the more you understand what's below your own surface, the more you can kind of see through that and others.
Understand yourself. Yourself, you understand the world.
And I feel like it's not easy. It's obviously not easy. Yeah, and there's some people that are really good at it too, disguising it. Yeah.
I feel like it's in the subtleties though, the very subtle mannerisms that they don't realize that they're doing. You know what I mean? Where it's you can observe them and you can pay attention to it, and you'll be like, that's a little sketch. Why would they do that type shit? And then they start to accumulate the more you observe them, and you're like, okay, I don't really know how I feel about that.
Example.
Oh fuck, dog.
Examples are always hard.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm on the spot now. Kind of just say yesterday. This is a perfect example. If when you said you weren't in the right mental space to film the podcast yesterday, if I would have been damn, really wanted a hot tub. Imagine that. You would have been
It shows that he cares more about what you have to offer than he actually cares about you as a human being.
Exactly. That makes sense. Yeah, exactly.
But it's subtle, it's not like me saying damn bro. Well, no, that would be pretty obvious.
That would be hard.
Yeah, that would be
Or
great.
like, I don't know, you could even try to force the same, hey, but like, I really want to see. But it's
Oh.
like, you don't want to see them until like
They
yeah.
want to see you.
And like, if they want you around because they need some company or something, like, you'll ask for that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not something that you don't try to force that on someone.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Would you say almost most relationships are transactional?
Depends on which relationship you're talking about.
I wouldn't just say transactional, but like as a whole surface level.
Surface level.
Definitely a lot of it, it's not genuinely about the two people getting to know each other. A lot of times it's just like, for one, like filling each other's voids. It's
Mm.
like you make someone feel comfortable, you give them warmth, you kind of just make life easier for them. But it's almost like a handicap at the same time because it's like you become dependent on them in so many ways, and that's where like you can build an attachment rather than a connection. And like attachment's much more temporary and much more like in person than like connection is.
So,
That's not deep.
oh, he's full of it. I love it. I love it.
I love talking about this though. It is forever,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So, like, how do you? What are signs to you where you're like, okay, this person's using me?
Personally, if someone wants something that's an asset of mine and they want to use that, it has nothing to do with me, it's something that I've created. And for example, like I said, the car thing, I get that a lot, dude.
People asking to borrow your car?
Yeah, a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah.
I only asked you after like we were like friends for like 6 months. I was like, okay,
I'm more
probably.
interested in what's going on in their mind. Like they're really just asking you like straight up, like, hey, can I use this? Like,
It's like, hey, can I borrow your car for like a shoot, or I want to do a photo shoot with my girlfriend, and I need something in the back. And that's not even the worst part. A lot of it is when people will use like my house. There's a lot of that now. Like,
Really?
Yeah. Like Michael was the most recent one, and sometimes you can just tell when something. Can you cut that part out? Can you please cut that part out?
I knew as soon as you name dropped, I'm like, damn it, I'm gonna have to edit that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
that's good. It means we're just talking.
Yeah, it means we're just
Just
flowing.
leave that there.
Just all get it. I'll do it.
Yeah. I lost my train.
So people using your house, how does that? Okay, how often does that happen?
A lot of the time before, people would do it like often, and I would allow it. And
Was
I
it when you were like
aware of
throwing parties like often?
it. Yes.
Was it during
I
that
wasn't
time?
really aware of it, and that's like why I'm new to this subject, right? Because I'm just realizing it now. And before, I was always a people pleaser, and that's something.
You know, I
that-
kind of want to dive into you a little bit because
Okay.
your life like fucking completely like everything.
So like you're new to being like, I guess, in this position where people can sort of be the leeches, I guess.
Yeah,
So
dude.
like,
Miami, dude.
yeah.
My man was what? You were 17 years old a year ago, living in Massachusetts in your parents' house. Like no Corvette. You had the Tesla.
Tesla.
Yeah, but no Corvette. Like you had probably what, 1 million followers.
Yeah, a little bit less.
But like you weren't like exposed to like the parties, the people. Like you weren't like Miami's a different fucking world, bro. And like you've been getting connected, very well connected, like fast. It's like how do you adapt to that? Like from going from like 50 grand to a couple mil in like the span of like a fucking like 2 years.
How do I adapt to it?
Yeah, like how do you like cognitively? How do you adapt to that?
I didn't at first, because when I moved down here, I was with my ex and my
That's
boy
crazy.
from the same town as me, so I felt like I was still there, you know? When I
Yeah,
first
your
moved.
identity didn't catch up right away.
Exactly. And it wasn't until my ex and I broke up, and it wasn't until everyone else moved out of the house and I was alone, which happened 2 weeks ago, that I started realizing all the people around me. I was like, holy crap. Like, people in general need to be more aware of everyone in their life, and really just, at first, you know, let them into your outer circle, and then you have your inner circle, and there's that area in which they kind of hover around, and before you let them into your inner circle.
You gotta really thoroughly examine them.
Exactly, dude.
It's literally what me and Eric were talking about on the way here. We're like, bro, like I like trust all my boys so much at this point because like you're not gonna be my boy if I don't trust you before you're my boy. You know what I mean? Like it's. Anyway, how'd you adapt, bro? Because like I remember when Matt first moved down here. This is so funny. We go out to dinner and he's with his girlfriend and I'm like, what are you doing, man? And then he was like, yeah, I'm shipping my dog down here next week. And then he gets 2 pet rats.
Oh,
And I'm sitting here, I'm like, my man loves responsibilities. Like
It's brutal.
my man. So now, and he had 2 cars, a girlfriend living with him that he had to take care of, like a dog, 2 fucking ferrets. And I'm just like sitting here, I'm like, how does my man deal with all this shit?
It's a lot.
Mentally, dude, I was breaking down on a daily basis, dude, because I wanted to be like, I thought I could handle all of it, and I was letting life just come at me, and I was accepting it. I wasn't like aware of what was coming in.
Like the rat thing, when the rats happened, I was like, okay, I need to talk with this man. Like, this is like getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Like, this is too many responsibilities, bro.
Yeah, Rachel loved those freaking rats, dude. My ex, she bought rats. She bought 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm just like still like thinking
And I'm
about
like,
rats. That's an interesting choice.
Like they brought it up. They were talking like, yeah, let's get rats. I'm sitting there, I'm like, this can't be serious, so I'm not gonna butt in. I'm like, this can't be like a
Did you go to
legit.
dinner with him? Like her and that?
And Charlie and Spencer, remember we went to the mussel. We ate a fuck ton of mussels. Remember that at it was downtown. We were talking about Snapchat. You were super into like how I hated Snapchat.
Okay, I don't remember.
There has to be something here that lets you bring to do it. It was at one restaurant. We got a butt ton of mussels. They didn't ID you guys, so you guys were lit. It was.
It's not La Vie.
La Vie. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit! I was.
So like you're just saying that you kind of just like let a lot of things happen, and before you were kind of talking about people pleasing, like does that kind of have to do with that? And like, I mean, obviously, I think it's easier to say yes than it is to say no, because no means you're kind of setting boundaries, like you're, I guess, more self-aware and in touch with what's happening. You're not just gonna allow things.
Yeah.
And the easiest person to lie to is yourself.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
You ever hear that?
What do you mean by that?
Elaborate.
Like it's just sort of that, like you can justify a lot of things that happen to you and that you want to do. And so I guess it's like it's easiest to be dishonest with yourself about things that are happening in your life. Like if someone's doing something, like you'll try to see the good in them, because like I think generally like we do that. Like we see the good in people, and so you know it's like even if you think about like a dependency or an addiction, like you justify it. Like there's the story there, and you kind of say like, oh, this is good for me. Like, oh, I can do this one more time. And so it's like we're constantly kind of just like being dishonest with ourselves about what's happening,
rationalizing everything,
what we're feeling, even, you know, like you'll kind of like just push things off and tell yourself it's okay.
Yeah, how do you fix
Well,
that?
I would say first, if you have to acknowledge that it is happening and like really be aware of it, and then like think about the consequences from that. Like, what is that doing in your life? If you're dishonest with yourself, then
you're building a reputation with yourself.
Right, like you're building a reputation, like be dishonest, and obviously like your relationship with yourself is the relationship you have with the world and other people. So it's like the more dishonest you are in terms of like lying to yourself, the easier it will be to do that to others and then also justify it. It's like just make it okay, sort of have always a reason, you know. Like that's literally what our mind does. Like our mind is built to always support anything that we say.
Right. To like basically rationalize everything that we think.
Like that's like what we do as human beings. You know, like the mind's always active. Like think about it. It's always stimulating.
It's crazy because whatever your relationship with yourself is at any time of your whole entire life, you're just gonna mirror it out to the world. And we were on the walk over here. We were talking about like we ran into one of my friends, I guess, and he was with his son. But I don't know if he's my friend or just a connection. And he was with his son. I was like, damn, how cool would it be to like have a son, bro? Like to actually like be homies with your son. So then I started talking about my dad. I'm like, why the fuck wasn't I was a cool kid. Like why wasn't my dad cool with me type shit? And then Eric goes, well, it's never about you. I go, damn. Because it is never about you, bro. Like everyone is just going to reflect exactly what's going on inside of them to the outer world. And once you kind of really realize that, you sit with it, you start to really tap into your energy, and you start focusing on your energy and what you can do to like see the world in a better light. Starts with seeing yourself in a better light.
Yeah, and like it's just about like your, I guess like current emotional state and how you're feeling yourself. Like if I came in here and I was in a bad mood, like you may be like, oh, like this guy doesn't like me, he's kind of a dick or something. Like who knows what you may think?
You're in a bad mood.
But it's like that would have been all me. And
what was that one quote you said the other day? Where you was like, no, I'm gonna use it. Because I don't know. Like you said that he who sees heaven will see it all the time, and he who never sees it will. What was this? You know what I'm trying to say?
I honestly can't think of it at the moment.
All right, fuck, whatever. But okay, there is something I do want to talk about, and Matt Lorian is the specialist in this. So we're gonna totally switch topics here. We're talking about crypto. Because, bro, like so many people are hitting me up about it.
Are you serious?
Oh, I'm serious.
Oh, yeah.
I'm serious.
I was taking up.
Because I got my man in crypto literally the other day.
I was
the
really
other
skeptical,
day.
honestly, because it's like, I don't know, it's like crypto. It's this new thing. I have no
His
idea.
dad was a stockbroker.
Yeah, my dad influences me. Like he's like, don't ever put money in that shit. Like it's it's not here for a while. You're just gonna lose money. It's just another like one of these like schemes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just decided like it's a risk.
So I got him to put. What'd you put in? Like 10 grand yesterday, 15 grand.
Yeah, I put a little into LRC. Ended up working a little bit, but then it goes up and down. And I don't know. It's like just kind of put that money in there, let it do its thing, and just don't worry about it. Because I can't do anything about it. I'm not in control of what happens. I'm not in control of what happens. So
everyone like you were telling me about this because I like kept telling people to buy Ethereum, like going to dipped and shit, and like everyone's saying like thank you for telling me to buy this shit. I'm like, dude, I still don't know what I'm really talking about at all. Just like don't really listen to what I say, but people do. He listened to what I say, and it's just like you actually have an understanding what the fuck, like kind of right, like a decent one, like a decent understanding. So like everyone's hitting me up about it, like yo, how do I start with crypto? What's going on with crypto? Like, is it gonna like? What do you think about like the rest of the year? Like your prediction on that?
The rest of the year?
Yeah, like from what you understand.
The entire crypto market for the rest of the year. This is what I believe. So you've been following it, right?
Yeah,
You just got it.
I just got
I've
it.
been
I really know
tight on it.
nothing. We sat down with Cam the other day. He pulled up a graph, and I learned more in that like 20 minutes than I
Okay,
had
how?
like ever.
Yeah, Kim.
Yeah, he
Legend.
showed us like every 4 years this happens, and I was like, okay, well maybe this is true. I don't know if I should trust you.
So
But
they're like,
I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Cam's probably talking about the bull cycles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bull cycles.
talking about Bitcoin on there.
Yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it goes in cycles, like Cam was talking about. And based on the past, the cycle is supposed to end the end of this year. So, people were saying October, sometime in January between then. And pretty much what we're going to see, and I know this is going to happen because it happened last year, and I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think it was 2019.
Pain.
Yeah. What happens is you will see, it's called FOMO, and I love you to freaking death,
He's gonna
but
call
he is
me
a
that.
victim of FOMO. So FOMO is fear of missing out.
Oh,
When you
100%
see-
it is, yeah.
I think inside, the thing is though, inside we all are. And it's
Mhm.
just like something that you need to like
Sit with.
sit with and master. It's really hard. It's mastering your own emotions. But essentially what happens, it's called have you heard of a blow off top before?
Yeah, but I don't know what it is.
Not like in bed. I'm talking about like in the trunks.
He's gonna blow off top.
I know.
No, I've heard the term, but like I've never like understood what it is. Blow off top.
To put it very simply, you look at the chart and the price, it goes like this, right?
Mhm.
And that's when everyone FOMOs in.
You're like, fuck, I'm gonna miss
Yeah,
out.
exactly. It's going up, like let's say Bitcoin's going up tens of thousands a day, and before it was going up, like it went from 6,000 to 13,000, like almost over.
It went to
double.
19. It went to 19. We looked at it just the other day. It went from 6 to 19 in like a month.
Oh, 19. All right, yeah. Well, I guess I don't even know my numbers, but the point is, it goes straight up. Everyone's FOMOing in, and what happens at the top of the chart is the blow off top.
Mhm.
So what ends up happening, everyone FOMOs in. All the people that are smart and know what they're doing, they're like, okay, holy shit.
It's a blow
Wait a
off
second. Wait a second. Everyone's FOMOing in. I'm taking my profit. They take the profit, right? It ends up happening. Then there's a little.
So you
retrace.
think this is gonna happen?
Yeah.
So you think Bitcoin's gonna go to what, like 100K? And then like people are gonna start like, oh shit, it's at 100K. I should probably buy this. And then most people are gonna sell at 100K when everyone's like FOMO.
Essentially, yeah.
When are you taking your profits?
I'm taking my profits when I see everyone FOMOing in. I'm watching the charts and I'm moving my stop loss as it goes up. So as soon as it starts to drop down, I'm out and I'm happy. And we're good.
Are you ever gonna put it back in the US dollar?
What?
Are you ever gonna put it back in the US dollar?
I don't like that word.
Yeah, me neither. I'm telling him, I'm like, bro, like literally my whole net worth's in crypto just because I fucking hate the US dollar. He goes, the what?
Like that just scares me to have all my money in something like.
Oh, trust me, bro. I was tweaking the other day. He was with me the whole day. I'm like sitting here, I'm like, bro, like whole fucking market's down. My whole net worth's in here. Like it's fucking scary. But it's just like I'd rather like be a little scared. Like I think it'd be cool to tell my kids about it one day too. You know what I mean? Like, be like, yeah, your dad had the biggest balls on the planet.
It's really fun.
So I forget what I was gonna ask after that. But so what if? Because everyone's getting hip to crypto now. Everyone's getting hip to crypto. What if it doesn't go in the cycle? Like, what if it just keeps like fucking, which I think is gonna happen, because everyone and their mom's getting into crypto now. You know what I mean?
So what if it just keeps going?
Yeah. What if, like, do you think the whales control so much of the market that it's impossible?
I think that eventually, and not I think, but I know, like based on what a lot of other people and just how the psychology behind it, eventually after everyone gets in, let's say there's a huge wave, a ton of teenagers and all these people are finding out, kind of like you just found out,
Yeah.
you know, a ton of people in our age group are, eventually there's going to be a cap, eventually. And that's when all of the investors that have been waiting for this moment are going to pull it, and we're going to see some type of retracement. And it's going to go into a...
Do you know what I think of that retracement was the other day? But that was scared as shit the other day when Ethereum was damn near at 39. It was in the 39s.
Yeah,
I was shitting myself.
that was, I don't want to say it was predictable, but it was...
Necessary?
You've heard of technical analysis, right? With the lines and
With
stuff.
the lines
all
and
that.
the shit.
And people would like sit to the monitors, like they're doing all their stuff. It was inside of the channel. It was going up like this. You see Ethereum? Ethereum was literally going up like sideways like this.
Yeah.
And it was a bearish pattern, and it ended up breaking the downside. So it was predictable, kind of. Sort of.
Did it break? It didn't break this the support though, right?
I think it came down to what, like 4K, and then bounced
Yeah,
back
like
up.
damn near 39.90. I'm pretty sure is what it hit.
Yeah.
Because I was telling him, I'm like, bro, like, now's the time to buy. Fuck. So what would you tell to the majority of people that are new to crypto? Because most of the people that I follow or like that follow me, like,